So that's
Yeah.
where I'm at, dear. That's what
Okay.
I did
No,
this week.
thank you for letting me know. So, we are going to have a to-do list for whenever we wrap up the call. We are going to first, um, get a little submersive because we've been doing only foundational. I mean, it's been things learning here and there of like going into deep dives of cold calling and the science behind it, but also you're now I get a better understanding of Bradley being the face of the sales side and because it really does take time. And that's what I was worried about is like us starting from scratch, just calling those shippers. And so like you have to hear those pitches over and over and over again to get comfortable, you know? And so it's one of those things where it's a time thing. So if Bradley and I could work together to boost the sales, then we would be able to get the operations down pat, but we have to have everything in place first, right? So
Right.
the ultimate goal is for us to be able to talk to a shipper today and, you know, be able to smoothly deliver by Friday. Like that would be ideal, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you and I have to come together with submersive situational circumstances. So pretend like the carrier packet is completed with the carrier broker agreement. The shipper agreement's already completed. Pretend like all of the stuff is in place already. Just pretend like it's showtime. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a situation at you. You're not going to know what exactly to do, but we are going to walk through it together. So it'll be more submersive on your end. So are you ready for that? It's kind of a challenge.
Throw me the bone.
Mhm. Okay, let's do it, girl. So get your pen and paper and write down this scenario. New shipper from Houston, Texas. NCI is the company name. That's our customer. Pretend like we already
Okay.
got them round already set up. They signed the shipper agreement. It's time to do some loads. Let's get submersive, okay? So here's the details. It's a steel company. They do steel coils mainly. And it's a massive account for anyone who can get in. It's a part of Cornerstone Building Brands. I'm sure you've heard of that. The
Mm-hmm.
Building Brands company. So that's another cool thing is that as you guys are building a house, ask anytime anything gets delivered, ask them who their vendor is and if you can get shipments with them directly. Like any type of lumber, any type of products for building trusses, you know, all of those things. So, it's one of those things where I want to give you details. So, this customer, his name is Chad, and Chad needs 3 shipments of steel from Houston to Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
He needs them all in flatbeds, 48 feet or 53 if they want.
You said 48
Feet or
to
53. Those are the
53.
two main sizes of flatbeds, 48 and 53. And just remember, 48, those guys can take only 48,000 pounds. So you're going to want to say the weight varies from 45 to 48,000 pounds. These are the details you got to give the driver, so it's important. We're going to do it full through.
Okay, so weight varies between 48,000 to 53,000 pounds.
No, no, no. 43 to 48. Sorry.
Oh,
That was
excuse me.
technicality.
Okay, 43 to 48,000 pounds.
hmm Or
Okay.
45, yeah, whatever. And so, as long as the driver knows it could go up to 48,000 pounds, that's all they need to know. And and you can tell them it could be as low as 43,000 pounds for one coil or whatever. So, um, the next information you need. we're not going to build the load in the system. Those are all technicalities and back end stuff. I need to know, pretend like you just got an email from Chad saying, hey, I need these 3 shipments moved. Can you get them picked up today before 3 p.m.? What are your action steps? Pretend like you already have carriers signed up to do the job. Pretend
Okay.
like
It's
you
like,
are, yeah, no, pretend
okay.
like
So
you
I do
already
have
have the
carriers.
broker
I know.
and set. Yeah.
Alrighty. And be like, absolutely. Well, I'll be contacting my drivers that's in that specific area, in your area, and we'll get this ball rolling. I'll be in contact with you. And of course, I would go over, verify exactly again what he just told me through the information that he sent me.
What are we
Um,
missing?
were we missing?
Mm-hmm. On these details on the shipment,
Well, he said pick up
other
today
than
by the time
addresses,
3 o'clock.
stuff.
You had to pick up by 3 o'clock today.
They're open till
Obviously,
4, though. We can say that. Open till 4. And then we're missing a huge piece right here to negotiate with the shipper.
oh, the rates. Yeah, the
Yeah,
rate
the
confirmation.
price. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, they don't get a rate confirmation, but the shippers don't.
Oh
So
no, that you have to
you
get the
need to
rate. Yeah.
quote it. So as soon as that's actually the first step before you think about replying is, can I do this? Kind of price is he trying to stay under
Because
or
I got to figure
at?
out the miles
Mm-hmm.
from Houston, Texas to Birmingham, Alabama, number one.
Mm-hmm. Then you research what the carrier's taking. So we go into quoting. Quoting is a huge, very complex, it's an art form. Quoting is an art form because you can tell me 400 miles of a shipment without the determining factor, and I can tell you right now it's going to be a minimum of $1,000 for your shipper. So like that's just out of the top of my head. That doesn't factor in the area, doesn't factor in the all of this stuff. So I can want to get you to the point where you can think about the mileage and think, oh, if I was on the road, but there's also the software that y'all have invested in, which is, using the quoting platforms accurately with TruckStop. And so for the sake of time, I'm going to say that this shipment, how many miles is it actually, if you could tell me?
Oh, it says 666 miles, 9 hours, 11 minutes
So,
from Houston, Texas. Yeah, I know. I hate to say that.
yeah,
Houston, Texas to Birmingham, Alabama through MapQuest. That's what I did.
okay. I'm gonna round it up to 668, and then and
Now,
then
how do you, does it give or take of the miles? Because what if he's clear on the other side of Houston, Texas compared to Birmingham, Alabama? I
mm,
mean, obviously it could be, 680 miles from
mm,
address to address. Don't you usually put your address in there specifically
in
so
the
you know
in the
exactly how many
yeah.
miles?
Yeah, you'll remember that little calculator we clicked on and it'll calculate, but you have to negotiate a price before anything is built in the system. This
Right.
is just email communication right now. So you're emailing back and forth with Chad, and if he doesn't give a price, which is a good thing, you don't want shippers to give you a price budget, right? Because you want to be creative in your quoting. So I did some calculations. Just this is without us even getting into quoting. So I want you to kind of take point in what we know, what we don't know. And so 668 miles. I know six, and this is how I do quick math. 668 miles. Oh, and this has to be tarped loads. These
Oh,
loads have to be tarped. Four
well, of
or
course,
six,
they're because
six
they're
or eight
coils.
foot drops. You put 6 or 8 foot drops, which is the top of a tarp down to the bottom. It has to be able to cover the whole thing. So if it's a 6 foot drop, at its very point, the tarp will drop 6 feet. Does that make sense?
Okay. Hmm.
And then at a really big tarp, it can go down to 8 feet. So that's why it's called 6 foot and 8 foot drop tarps. It's a very common flatbed accessory. Chain straps, binders, out. Okay, chains, straps, and binders um, are common accessories for securing a load that we as brokers have to make sure the driver has everything. Another common thing is I want you to write down is PPE. All drivers must have PPE. And so
Personal protective equipment.
it's like
Is that what that
it
means?
just yeah, it's not personal protective something equipment. Yeah. Um
Okay.
it's like goggles and a hard hat and a vest or something like that, stuff like that. So, um, and they'll let you know. So, okay, so think of it this way, 660, if we round it up to 700, 700 is 700 times, or 7 times 2 is 14, right? So
That's correct.
that's what you're going to give the carrier, 1400, because that's, or I'm sorry, 1400 is our double break even. So that's $2 a mile. So we know we're not going to go lower than 14 because that's break even at $2. So let me rephrase this. The way I'm doing this in my head without going in a truck stop and getting caught up in the quoting, because we need to do that from scratch, just pretend like you know what I'm saying and we'll go over this a little bit later, the quoting part. So I want you to, so we're emailing Chad back and saying, hey, we can do these at 2100 for each shipment. So we are giving the carrier rate at 1700
Mm-hmm.
is what we want to post at. So without knowing the analytics, don't be scared in the details of the price. So you want to post at 1700, 1800 is your max with a driver because remember they're going to negotiate with you.
Okay. So that would be $3 a mile to the shipper that would be paying $3 a mile. So then if I posted
2100,
on 2,100, yeah, divide that by 700
that's to the shipper.
to the shipper. Both
Yes.
$3 a mile.
Yes, so that's well, we don't do the quoting on $3 with the shipper side. We only do, and so if you do 1700 is the only rate per mile you need to do, but that was correct. Divided by 668 is $2.54 a mile, which a flatbed will take in this market right now.
Hmm. And this is
And
semi.
yes, and you know how
I
I
thought
know
semis were
this.
more.
I just want to
Okay.
show you DAT trend lines. So this is how you check. I check it all the time, probably a couple of times a week. And we go down, it's just dat.com/trend lines. So this is all data that you don't need to know right now. Um, but this is what I always look at is right now flatbeds are rating at $2.56. Guess what? Our rate is $2.54 a mile. So that is something that you want to take into consideration for especially at least once a month, know what they're averaging. But like as of right now in June, we are at 256. So we know that's within range that a driver would take it, especially out of a big city metroplex area like Houston. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm not going to throw you to the wolves and make you do this, but I'm going to have you hear these calls. Okay. So this is the broker side of Truck Stop. Yep. And just for accuracy, I want to check to see if my rate was good. I'll do it really quick and then I'll go over it slower with you. 237 8. Okay, so let me just check this rate real quick. Just remember, I'm going to show you this step by step. But this is just an example of how much goes into this. You and I did it a 10-minute version. That would be nice, right? But and when we get set up, that might be possible because I could quote a customer within the next 3 minutes and um, it'd be okay. So we're going to put 48,000 pounds and we'll put 48 minimum. This needs to pick up today. Houston to Birmingham. Let's just see if I was
Okay.
on. Okay, this is why we want to check the load board because this data is telling us that a truck will take this for 1,500. So I'm going to put, or 1444 or 54 at $2.16. I'll bump it up an extra $50 to 1,500. So if we were going off just the trend lines alone, we wouldn't have known that right now the actual real live data is saying that out of Houston, this is the average rate per mile that people are booking loads at. So we would have lost $400 in margin if we didn't pay attention to this. Okay. So I just want to put that in there. Now, load manager, let's go into um new load post. Okay. So I'm going to go in and put Houston, and remember this is for science. So today, oh no, whoops. Today, and then remember we don't mess with the times, but we'll put,
3 o'clock is what you said. Yeah.
yeah. And then Birmingham needs to be by tomorrow afternoon.
Hmm.
All in rate 1,500, 48,000. Don't fill any of this in. Tarps, load option is tarps. Um, chains, binders. I don't know what binders do. I've never secured a load, but I just know they're
Change
needed.
straps and binders.
Well, not straps, but yes, the because the straps will replace the chains, or chains will replace the
Oh,
straps.
change the stripes. Oh, okay.
Must
Okay.
tarp pick up today before 3.
Hmm. Now I can't remember if it was you or you. I think it was maybe Bradley or you. I can't remember which one suggested when you do the must tarp, just to make sure, have them initial that to make sure that they saw.
No, we get a picture. Yeah, and they'll write on there, remember? So we would ask our carriers for pictures, especially if they're first time carriers hauling a load for you.
Okay, pictures of if it's tarp before and then.
Oh yeah. And
Okay.
the delivery will note on the BOL if it wasn't tarped when he got there.
Okay.
They sometimes refuse the load. That's another circumstance we have to be ready for of what happens when this driver that screwed it up gets all the way to delivery in Birmingham and then they won't take it. What happens? We walk through those steps together, okay? So, I'm going to post this load. I'm going to start getting calls, hopefully. If not, then we'll raise my rate.
So view and posting, what is that? That goes right
Um,
onto the load board.
okay, sorry. I'm going to X out. So here we have our posted load. And you can track the views and who views it, which is cool. So once we get some more views, um, you know, that's possible.
Hmm.
I'm not getting any calls, which is weird. So we might have to bump it up. I mean, this is going to be a fast-paced one because for the sake of time, um, let's just do it to 1650. So if we give it to a truck at 1,700 and we charge our customer 2,100, what is our margin?
So what was that again?
If we are giving the truck, let's say 1,700 all in, um,
To the shipper. We're charging the shipper 1,700.
mm-mm, the
Oh, okay.
carrier.
The
We've already
carrier. Okay.
charged the shipper 21. Remember? We negotiated that.
Right.
So 21 minus 16 or 1,700 is what rate?
Well, it's 400.
$400?
Yes.
Okay. I just was asking you to calculate it. Um,
Oh, yeah.
it's funny how I'm not good at quick math, but I am good at
Oh, yeah.
rates.
21 minus 1,700 is 400.
So we got a view already.
You're probably thinking, what in the world? Oh,
That's a
so yeah, it
Houston
does.
number.
Huh.
So this is a good idea. Uh,
Because you have it on there now for 1,650. Divide that by, let's say 680 miles. That's $2.43 a mile.
yeah, I'm calling this driver. Can you hear that ringing?
Hello.
Hmm.
Hey, Darwin. This is Hannah. I am calling to see if you're interested in that Birmingham load from Houston.
I'm ready to take one load right now from Houston to Decatur, Alabama.
Oh, okay. So you're already heading to Alabama? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know. Maybe we can work together in the future.
Okay.
Okay, bye. So, every carrier that you talk to in the beginning, even if it's not a workout, like it doesn't work out with the carrier, you can say, I could have extended that conversation and said, well, can we get set up with you as a carrier with our brokerage so that we can give you future loads and be set up for the future kind of thing? Like you want to get as many carriers signing up with your company as possible. Like that's
Hmm.
another thing.
And then when I do, and they said absolutely, or yeah, jot my information down, then where do I put that information?
We're going in our all in rate at
On that
19.
team leads, the Google, is that where I would put all that the carrier information, or is that just all
Oh no,
potential
that'll
shippers?
be in the TMS system.
Oh, the truck stop,
Yes.
the ITS.
Yes. That'll you input the carrier information there. So you'll have the information on drop form and then you transfer it to the dispatch ITS. So your carrier, like it's data entry, basically.
So
It's like
where would we would enter that? So
we
like all his information was right
we would
there.
enter it in ITS. Oh, this right here? No, 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 no. We
Yeah.
have to confirm all that.
Okay, so you can't enter that information into.
No.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Yeah, I wish. And TruckStop's not
Yeah.
smart enough for us to be able to click. Oh, look, I'm getting a call.
Yeah, and
Hold
see.
on. Hello, this is Hannah.
Hi, do you still have available the load going from Houston to Birmingham, Alabama?
Yes, I do. What kind of truck do you have?
40 flatbed.
Okay, and do y'all have 6 foot drop tarps at least? Okay, and what is your MC number?
MC 1054096.
Okay, let me check real quick. 1 second. This is where you go and you put them on hold and you pretend to look up their information. Remember um,
Yes.
if they're good and carrier approved, right?
The
So,
safer site.
yes. So, no, not safer.
Oh,
It has to be a verifiable carrier rating, and TruckStop has that, like carrier approval. We've got to so write that down. So I'm just going to say that this is the details and just listen to this call. We're missing parts here. I want you to see how many pieces of the puzzle we're missing here. Okay. All
okay.
right. So you guys are already set up with us, and it needs to be picked up today before 3 p.m. Is your driver, what time will he be empty?
Driver
Okay, cool. So it's steel coils and it could be as low as 43,000 pounds, but we put up to 48,000 pounds. It just depends on the coil. And so, yeah, I have it posted at 1900 firm and I can definitely put you on this load if that works.
Okay, for the delivery tomorrow, do we need any appointments?
No, deliveries first come, first served till tomorrow at before 4.
Before 4? Okay, and you said the rate was firm, correct?
Yes, and the rate is firm. Hold on, I think one of my coworkers just covered this. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'll call this number back if anything changes.
Okay, yes, please, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
That's
I
good.
feel terrible, but
I know.
whatever, you know. So, so let's delete that. That's just
So
an
what did you
example.
look up? So what did you look up her information to verify the MC number
I didn't
that she
because we
gave
don't
you?
have that software.
Mm.
ITS
Okay.
Dispatch is supposed to have that integrated. We need to email Trent and say, how do I
Ask,
verify carriers
ask Trent.
through
Oh,
ITS?
it was right beside the FM. It was that button, the FM.
No, I know the FMCSA Safer website, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Look
that
at
was
all
right
these
beside the button.
views.
Uh-huh.
So now we know our rate was good at 1900, but now we're only making 200 bucks per load. 246.
Yeah.
That's a lot
No
of work
kidding.
for 600 bucks.
Yeah, but it
So
is
now
what it
you see
is.
the value. Like, I'm sorry, but my I am not budget brokering and my situation is not going, look, someone else is calling on it, but I
Uh-huh.
deleted it. So, I just wanted you to see how that works again, and
Okay.
we will work on talking to carriers and verifying all the details another time. And so, um, we Okay, now we're gonna keep on our submerge journey. Okay, so driver picks up. Let's say we give it to that driver that just called, and let's say they're approved, they're good to go, and he's actually there at 12. So by 12. So Central.
Okay.
And
He's supposed to be there before by at least
3,
2 p.m.
yeah,
Or
3
excuse me,
p.m.
3 p.m. Yes,
Yes.
3 p.m.
So he's good to go if it's first come, first serve. Now, if it's appointments, you and I would literally have to stop what we're doing to call the shipper and receiver, the pickup and delivery, and say, what are your appointment times? Then you got to go back and offer it to the driver and say, hey, what time can you be there? We need to set appointments. Then you go back to the shipper and receiver
Gee.
and say, hey, I need to secure the 12 p.m.'s appointment.
Mm-hmm.
That is for the birds. But
Exactly. So it's too bad a calendar invite.
yeah, and too bad we don't know
Why
all the
can't
details of if you need an appointment or not. That is going to be another question you ask a shipper. Because I would charge them extra for my appointment scheduling situation. I'm suddenly your appointment scheduler, and I don't like that unless I'm getting paid big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got to keep that in mind. So our valuable work is, especially after you see the stress that we go through and all of the processes, like our initial problem is the fact that we have to deliver the product on time, accurately, high quality, good numbers, good prices in order for everyone to all be happy. Because I'll tell you right now, that previous shipper, Ed, that I worked with, that
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to get set up, he actually has the worst price loads, and that's why I did not stress about it. It was a shipper I worked with for a year, and he and I ended up becoming buddies, and I was doing him favors on saving rate because I wanted his business. He was a new business. And so now fast forward 2 years later, I wasted a ton of time uh just quoting cheap freight, man, and taking $50. Like my services for an all day event today and tomorrow, that was just one truck we covered. We didn't even do all the details. Do that 3 times. Tell me that you and I can handle 10 shipments right now if they came and knocked on our door.
You can't.
Impossible.
Yeah, I can't. There's no way. There's
Impossible.
absolutely no way. Yes.
There's so many missing puzzle pieces that I purposely skipped over because I needed you to get the bones
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
see what it's kind of like. Like there's verification involved on everyone involved, making sure no scams are happening. Like there's tons of like you need to get the pictures from the tarping and haggle them about making sure the carrier picks up on time, tracking and tracing the driver when he's en route, when he's, in delivering or delivered. That's all status updates that have to be done through the TMS system to automatically shoot through the accurate payment and get everything accounted for.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of steps. I understand that. And again, there's so many loopholes
For
that we
sure.
still haven't even covered. So I can't, there's no way we can even start
Yeah,
because,
that's where I wanted to kind of like submerge us in the environment.
mm-hmm, right. So next would be the getting the carrier, um, uh, is it carrier broker agreement it's called, or broker carrier agreement?
Yes, broker carrier agreement.
Then check.
So we already have the bones to that one. So go back in our emails and tell me what you want to change. And then we'll add the accessorials and finalize the fee prices.
What emails?
The good news is that we just
Oh,
covered
the broker
yeah, broker carrier. Just type in carrier at the top in the search bar and it should
and
pop
search
up.
mail.
hmm So
Um,
you and I just
I'm
covered a whole lot of ground in a short period of time. But do you see how we just cut those corners and weaved in and out and then it was bizarre and we were spitballing numbers and calculations and it is a balancing act like you are a juggler at the circus.
mm-hmm.
100%. Um and
Oh,
we're
you're
still
talking
in the setup process, you know? So like we've got to make sure that we are speed tracking all of this information and practicing it and getting familiar with the TMS on all the data that needs to be entered. Um,
my thing is like you have in a spreadsheet or an outline specifically like 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 we did with Penny or Ed at Penny Timbers. There's certain questions that I need to ask because it's lumber or timbers included, compared to either it's toilet paper or if it's coils. If in that situation it's like I need to write an outline of remembering what specific questions I need to ask. So I don't know if you have a created of like that new shipper information sheet for certain truckloads for certain trucks that need versus flatbeds to the reefers to
yes,
oversizement.
that's one way to really embarrass yourself if you ask the toilet paper company that if you need tarps. Like we we
Obviously, it needs
can't,
to be
yeah,
covered. You can't
yes.
get toilet
So,
paper wet.
so, that would be immediate decline at delivery. No, you can't. We can't accept wet toilet paper to our customers. Wait a minute. And so the next part is, we have to say, well, it doesn't need, you have to troubleshoot in your head, like, okay, well, it's not a flatbed. It's not a dry van because not a reefer because it doesn't need to be refrigerated. Toilet paper doesn't need to be refrigerated. So you kind of take every product, and the base outline of the questions you ask per shipper is it is going to be, there's no one way to track what you ask the business, because in conversation they give you certain details and you have to find out what missing details are like what other details do you need. So you might be writing stuff down, and that's why I made it in a fillable template, is so you can print off one for everything, but I can make it more detailed for specific equipment types. To answer your question, I can do that, but there's no one way to fill it out. Now, I do have the commodities and truck and trailers document that I sent to you last week. It goes over every truck, like max weight, max length, and what equipment like tarp strain chains, binders, straps.
Right. Give me an
Yeah.
outline.
So
So,
yeah,
right.
it's in the documents. Those learning documents, that's really what I want you to like print off maybe and put in a folder. And weed eat through some of those documents in the after hours. We'll put that in the after hours to-do list. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just really want to be able to make sure that we are on track. And so the only thing I need you to do in between sessions is find the commodities list of all those documents I sent you. It'll say truck types and commodities. There's two
Mm-hmm.
documents actually. So you're going to want to have all these sheets handy to where if you could, you know, we've only done one shipper call. So the details that you need to know that fit the mold of that company all is determinant on your conversation. It's hearsay, unless you make sure that it's all completed and the marks are clicked. But don't overanalyze all the questions. It's not your first and only and last conversation. Remember that. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to be strategic. If you hear the guy's super busy and you need to get these details and you're like, oh, it sounds like you're a busy guy. I'm just going to shoot this to you on email. They would love that. Love
All
it.
right. Right. Mm-hmm.
So
I get that.
you want to make sure that know, you'll have another opportunity to collect all of these questions through your relationship. So because he has to still give you details like the address, the phone number, contact at pickup and delivery, all of those details he still has to give you, even if he said yes on the phone, just like Ed. Ed said
Now, do they
yes.
have a specific like form that they would email me with all that full detail? So I have
Mm-mm.
an email form, or they just tell me over the phone when they have loads?
Because they're outsourcing this to be done by us. It's part of our service to get the details in the right truck. If they were spending time, I mean, you could maybe test the strategy of making a form for shippers to fill out beyond jot form. Maybe we can add another jot form of getting the details,
Mm-hmm.
shipment details, and for every shipment detail, we can create a form like that. So it actually will be easier for you to say, if I missed any details in our conversation, please fill them out here.
Right. Yeah,
And
because I
that's the
need
second.
why can't you have verification from his word against mine
Mm-mm.
compared to, sending it to the carrier?
These are
Because
blue
then he's
collar
like,
farmers on tractors. These are guys in the field at project sites. You know what I mean? Like we have to adjust to the industrial side of like the most of the shippers I work with barely check their emails. Like a guy that I worked with, I mean, you have to remember the adaptability part, I guess. But yes, any way you can confirm the details is going to be great, right? Anytime you can, confirm, but you don't want to like this has to be a smooth process or they're going to be like this broker's not worth it because you're
right.
a dime a dozen in the broker world. So if you're, you have the core foundation of and that's what we'll make a list of the core foundation of the bones of what you need to know as far as basic details like address, contact, weight, length, all of those details. So I think we should do a job form and say shipment detail confirmation,
Hmm.
or something like that. Shipment detail or shipment
And they don't
information.
necessarily need to figure it. I mean, or at least give me a sheet that I can grab from, if it's timber, grab me that specific sheet,
Yes.
that I already have it filled out. So let me ask you these questions and let me I can even just verify with them. Because I mean, more information is the better, but also I need to have an outline of specific questions to what ask for specific product that's going to be shipping. What specific, is a semi or is it a hot shot needed because of the location? You can't get a semi back there.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll probably give me that information, but is there any questions that I need to specifically remind the shipper that, oh, shoot, I forgot to tell you. Yeah, I can't have a semi come back here because there's a bridge come, towards me. You can't come in either way. I can't get a semi back here. I have to get a hot shot back here. So
Mm.
that's why I was saying I didn't know there's specific questions or an outline that I can ask.
That'll come with time. It has to flow, and be not as technical, and so I'm going to make you a list of questions not to ask your new shipper. And I'm also going to make a list of the ways we can verify these details. And there's going to be a box on the form of any other details I should know, like
Okay.
put them there. But um, details are massively important. Don't let me water
Mhm.
that down.
Right,
Every
right.
tiny detail matters. If Joe at the front desk has a bad attitude, I need to know about it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of these scenarios. So, we got a lot covered. We will meet back at what is time? Do we say?
The other time, 12:15.